to the Seireitei, a Bleach fandom community podcast brought to you by Soi Fon's Tattoo Parlour. There's only one design, and getting more than one could mean your death, but hey, at least you look good. My name is Lethan, and today I'm joined by Nomi.
Hiya!
And an extra special guest all the way from Squad 2 in the Seireitei Discord server. It is Dex.
Hello, hi.
Dex, so can you tell us real quick, how did you get into Bleach?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty late entrant into the Bleach fandom. Like, I didn't watch it when it was starting, but my friend kind of introduced me to it, and the first thing I saw was a bunch of hot ass dudes and girls in like cool ass costumes, and I was like, I mean, sure, I'll give it a try. And then I finished Society, and then it just kept rolling. I just fell in love with all the powers and all the personalities, and of course, I mean, the hot dudes and girls. That's always the case, but it just became like more than just something that I liked, and I delved into it more. I started researching a lot of the characters and their power sets, and I just found it like very poetic and very like a much bigger universe than I expected.
Cool. Okay, so today's episode, then, we've got so much to talk about, especially because Dex being from Squad 2 is going to be key to these two episodes that we're covering. So let's kick it off with those sweet episode recaps then.
Yeah, so in episode 56, Supersonic Battle, Determine the Goddess of Battle, things start off with Yumichika finding his captain. Now, whilst Yumichika is looking especially radiant after his quote-unquote fight with Lieutenant Isagi, he's not the goddess of battle we're referring to. Neither is it Ukitake or Kyoraku, who, after some forced encouragement from Yamamoto's, released their zanpakuto into Shikai, revealing not only a lengthy release command, but the fact that they have the only two-bladed zanpakuto in Soul Society. As they clash elsewhere in Soul Society, Kukaku picks up Jidambo for a hot date. And we finally get to the crux of the episode, Soi Fon and Yoruichi. Soi Fon summons in reinforcements, and Yoruichi dispatches of them as quickly as they arrive. The two then exchange in some blink and you miss it martial arts showcase, with both women exchanging blows. Soi Fon takes the upper ground by releasing her Shikai, but when that doesn't work, resorts to revealing her secret weapon, a dangerous blend of Hakuda and Kido that she created called Shunko. Not to be outdone, Yoruichi then, in a bout of multiple discovery, reveals that she too has created this mysterious Shunko. However, she can't control it, and demonstrates with a blast of energy.
Which leads us into episode 57, Zenbon Sakura crushed, Zangetsu thrusts through the sky. I can't say that nearly as dramatically as Dale did in the last episode. But anyway, this episode starts with Yoruichi nullifying Soi Fon's final attack, explaining that she isn't ready to use the technique yet. Soi Fon is confused as to why she's not surpassed Yoruichi, and then we launch into a backstory of an adorable baby Soi Fon being introduced to Yoruichi for the first time. Her dream was always to serve her. The relationship grows as Soi Fon is promoted, and Yoruichi finally admits to seeing Soi Fon more like a little sister. The flashback ends with a confused Soi Fon begging Yoruichi to answer why she left without saying anything, and crying to the ground at her feet. Meanwhile, Ikaku and Tetsuzaimon are drinking in a forest discussing what it takes to become a lieutenant, while Ichigo and Byakuya are going hard at it at Sokyoku Hill. Ichigo demands Byakuya releases Bankai, and the episode ends with Zangetsu crushing Byakuya's Shikai, likely leaving him no choice. Oh, these are two really heavy episodes. There's lots going on.
They are.
Yeah.
And the episodes only cover like a little bit of what the title involves, like, because it goes elsewhere, and we've still not got answers and endings to some of the storylines.
I know. Right. Okay. There's so much to get through here. Can we start very early with episode 56 then? So Ukitake and Kyoraku Shikai reveal.
I mean, it's all three of the oldest captains, like three of the oldest captains Shikai reveals, right? Like General Yamamoto, Ukitake, and Kyoraku. So seeing all those three is super cool, and seeing that Yamamoto is not an old man and he does his hot ass review, like he does a hot review. He's still ripped as shit. His zanpakuto is Yamato is just straight fire, and you can see even we know so far that Kyoraku is very strong. He's one of the strongest captains because of how quickly he like just dispatched Chado. They just like and that's Chado's gone. But seeing like they're fearing Yamamoto is just it's just a great moment, you know. But I mean, kind of sad that the fight didn't really go anywhere. We don't really see it, but
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more of this fight in
Yeah.
these episodes, but anyway, that's wishful thinking for me, really, to be honest. But I don't know about you guys, but see the Shikai reveal, especially for Kyoraku. I never really thought of Kyoraku as hot before, and I know Dex, you were talking about all the hot people in Bleach. But see when he does his like side by side Shikai sword command, I was like, oh, hello. I just thought that was really cool. So we get the reveal then of, and I'm going to attempt to not butcher these names, we get Kanten Kyokutsu. Kanten Kyokutsu.
Yeah.
That's it. That's which is Koraku's Shikai reveal. And then we get Ukitake's as well, which is Sogyo no Kotowari. This is what it was like for me trying to learn even just a little bit of Japanese with slowly pronouncing things. Which are two really unique designed, as we said, zanpakuto, the only two double zanpakuto. Now, the thing that I noticed is that Ukitake's splits. His is one sword becomes two with the Shikai command, but Koraku's was always two swords. We always seen him walk about with two swords.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that Yamamoto just pointed out that Sogyo no Kotowari and Katen Kyokutsu are the two dual wielding captains. Like they are the two dual wield zanpakutos. Although I think it's just I think it's interesting to see it. Yeah. And like I guess saying that they are the two only dual wielding zanpakutos make them more special, so it gives them more attention as well. So although I mean, as you've seen in the series so far, they've not really had their spotlight on them. Yeah, just probably the most badass thing Ukitake has done so far was the not stopping the Shikai, just showing up for Byakuya and also the shield. And yet Kyoraku's only also had one fight. So yeah. So having that is like a good prelude to things to come.
Yes.
The other thing that really sets them apart as well is their release commands. Like before, we've had people just say like one word. You've got like howl or growl. Like you've not got anything substantial until really you get to Hitsugaya, who's a little bit more lengthy. But both Kyoraku and Ukitake, they've got really quite lengthy zanpakuto release commands.
It's like a Kido spell, isn't it?
It is, yeah. For Kyoraku, you've got the flowery winds become disturbed, the god of flower sings, the heavenly winds become disturbed, the devil of heaven sneers. And then for Ukitake, you've got all ye waves become my shield, all ye thunder become my blade. So even their Shikai commands have that duality in them, reflecting back to the fact that they've got the duality of the two swords. You've got Kyoraku's, who's referring to both heavenly winds and the devil.
Devil, yeah.
And Ukitake's is waves and thunder.
Like a storm, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is quite fitting, considering as Sogyu no Kotowari is the law of the twin fish or the law of Pisces. So you've got the kind of the Pisces and the fish and the storm and the water and that symbolism going on with it there as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Shikai...
that's interesting. Is there not some tie-in to Burn the Witch there? Just a little thinking about the star signs. Anyway, we'll maybe discuss that another time. Okay. Just with the star signs, no?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It was too early for me to quickly make the reference.
If we're recording this very early, it's fine. Yeah. Sorry, Dick, what were you going to say?
No, I think the Shikai comments kind of reminds me of our couplets. Like it's these like short poems that generally people hang like at the doors. Like this coming from Chinese culture, I'm not sure if Japanese do it, but I think they do as well. So the fact that their Shikai comments are couplets and their zanpakutos are dual wields, it's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they strive to get Bankai really, really quickly just so they didn't have to say their release command?
I mean, we don't know what their bankais are at this point, so maybe they've got even longer release commands. Maybe they had to write a whole fucking novel for them.
Yeah, that's why it took them so long for them to come out. Yeah.
That's why Kyoraku hates fighting. He doesn't want to have to say this long ass name.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so that was really just a little slither at the start of episode 56, and then we come into the bulk of episode 56 and into episode 57, and I think we could talk about these two together because they go pretty hand in hand, don't they? So,
Yeah.
56 and 57, your Soi Fon fight. What did you love? What did you hate?
Okay. Initially, when I watched this fight, I thought Soi Fon was a stone cold bitch, man. Like I did not like her at all. When my love for Soi Fon came a lot because of like seeing how her Shikai and like all her other stuff, like all her powers, like even now her Shunko, right? Seeing how all those evolved because of her perceived deficiencies and all that, like became very rewarding for me. I feel like her power progression is one of the best in the series and one of the most thematic according to her personality. Yeah, like her Shikai. I think the thing I love most about the fight is just kind of how rude they are to each other. You know, like you don't really you don't really like know what's up with these two, but you also didn't know that they have such a direct relationship with each other. Episode 56, the main thing that they were doing besides like fighting each other was just bantering each other and just kind of dropping the hints as to the backstory that was to come. Soi Fon was very adamant that she surpassed Yoruichi, and Yoruichi was like, I mean, whatever you say, I'm just not like, I mean, she replies, but she's not like bothered or anything, you know, until she reviews Suzumebachi. But at the end of episode 56, when Shuko comes out, you kind of realize that Yoichi didn't really care about the Shikai. Like Soi Fon's power wasn't that interesting or wasn't that threatening to her. It's just that I don't know I'm not sure how to say this, but Yoichi didn't really feel threatened throughout the fight, you know, because the moment Shunko comes out, Yoichi realizes that this is something that Soi Fon can't deal with. So it means that Yoichi had a pretty good idea as to where Soi Fon's power level is. Yeah. And I think the cool part about Shunko was that you could see the elements inside their Shunko. Like Soi Fon's Shunko was wind based and Yoichi's Shunko was lightning based, which is cool. It's something that's set up early in the series, and I never really noticed it until I watched it again. Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I don't really think I noticed that either. But actually, now that I'm thinking about the anime, yeah, I can kind of see that. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
I noticed the thunder for Yoichi because of stuff that happens future-wise. But I hadn't realized Soi Fon's was wind. That was a good call. Good show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's something that although I've rewatched that like fight many times, but yeah, this was like really the first time I was like, that's something that they've already done. Yeah.
That's cool. I just loved getting their backstory. Like, I thought that was really interesting, was getting to see how Soi Fon came to, because obviously we didn't know any of this, did we? This is the first time that we're getting that these two know each other. The only hint we had before this was Soi Fon recognizing the crest of the Shihoin clan on the shield that Ukitake brings to destroy the Sokyoku with.
Yeah.
So that's the only instance we have of these two potentially having any kind of history with each other, and then we get launched into this beautiful backstory of which I wish Bleach had more of for the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice as well, not just their backstory, but a little bit of how Soul Society kind of is structured. We get the revelation of the fact that there are 4 great noble families. Possibly there could have been even more. However, we get told that a Shiba clan, and we know some Shibas, has fallen. So that could mean that it wasn't that they'd started out with more than 4, but now there is only 4, and that the Shihoins are one of these 4. And you know that they have this special name that took me ages to pronounce, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's the Tenchihei Soban. And they are given this because they are the defender of the realms. They are the guards of the heavenly granted armaments. Can't even say the English words, let alone the Japanese. So these heavenly granted armaments we can then presume are the Shihoin shield that we saw last episode, but also this pretty cool tentoken, this flying cloak that Ichigo was holding. So, Yoichi is going off of her back, risking her family to help this Ryoka by giving him and other people special shields and special treasured tools that they can use to help them. So Yoichi is really all or nothing here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, it kind of brings like more attention to Yoichi because we didn't really know who she was like throughout the whole series. Like I mean, most of the time, like so far, she was a cat, and then people say her name in Soul Society, and everybody's like Shihoin, the Shihoin Yoichi, and then you're like, okay, who is this person? And yeah, I mean, of course, she's hot because she's hot. But besides that, the more depth to a character appears.
Yeah, I think she's she didn't strike me as the kind of person that suited. I don't know if this came across to anybody else, but she didn't strike me as a person who suited that luxurious title and lifestyle. Like even when Soi Fon watches her walking across the bridge, she looks kind of miserable. Like she struck me as somebody that likes to run free.
Yeah, like a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole time, like during the backstory, every time Soi Fon wanted to call her like this very formal name, and Yoichi is like, "Ka!" Yeah, that's all she says. Yeah, I think it's obvious that she never asked for this. Like unlike like which is the direct contrast to what leads to the end of episode 57, like Byakuya. Like I think that was an interesting contrast. You get this noble Shihoin Yoichi that obviously didn't want that, and you get this noble Byakuya, and whatever happens with Byakuya, which is my favorite fight in all of Bleach, because I mean I love Soi Fon, but at this point of time I didn't like Soi Fon. At this point of time, my favorite character was Byakuya. And the lead up into the Byakuya fight with Ichigo was just, oh my god, man. Yeah,
so
just,
good. It's the tension on that is
yeah.
just so good.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
before we go to the stinger part, because Ichigo stopping Byakuya Shikai, I just want to talk more about Soi Fon's backstory, because at this point of time, what we know about Soi Fon was that like the first introduction we got to Soi Fon was her being rude to her lieutenant, like
Mhm.
Marichio Maeda. Yeah, and that's the second time we see her. She's being a complete dick to Kotetsu Kiyone. Like she was like crushing her windpipe and stuff, and we know that Kiyone was obviously less strong than Soi Fon. So this was just straight up bullying. Like she's on the
Yeah.
ground, Soi Fon stepping on her, and she's smiling, and you're like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck is this person? Yeah.
But I think
yeah,
it was nice though getting the softer side of her and getting her
yeah,
humanized by that
yeah.
backstory and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, so when you
Mhm.
see the backstory, we realize that from young, the only thing she knew was to fight. Like basically the first line that anybody says to her as a child was that like dedicate your life to Yoichi or the Shihoin clan, actually more specifically, because they never really mentioned Yoichi, just that Yoichi at that point of time was a Tenshi Hisoban. I think, yeah, the defender of the realms. I'm not sure what the Japanese is, but the defender of the realms. So I'm guessing at that point the Fawn clan leader told Soi Fon to dedicate herself to that person. Yeah. And when that person left, like when Yoichi left, Soi Fon had no purpose anymore in life. So so instead of redirecting that strength, she basically she spent all her time channeling her strength towards protecting Shihoin Yoichi. But the moment Shihoin Yoichi left, that strength goes nowhere. So she decided to rededicate to society. Yeah, which is why throughout like the past few episodes, she's constantly mentioning about how captain should have this duty to society, captain should have this thing, because she didn't have Yoichi anymore. Yoichi was the one that humanized her. Yoichi was the one that kept her like less of a bitch than she is.
Loving.
Yeah. So so when Yoichi left, you get this captain that's basically a caricature at that point of time, a caricature of the society captains are. Because I mean, even like Mayuri was kind of an asshole, like some of the captains were really villains at this point of time. Like they were supposed to be the villains. Like I think Soi Fon was considered a villain right until Yoichi comes back. And when Yoichi came back, that's when Soi Fon let go of herself again. Like the end of episode 57, like the end of the fight, wasn't Soi Fon was just Soi Fon giving up. Yoichi didn't beat her. Like I mean, she showed that there was a power difference, but Yoichi didn't actually beat her. It was just Soi Fon giving up and asking why Yoruichi didn't bring her along. And that's the return of the humanization. Like, the return of Yoruichi signifies Soi Fon as a human character once again, instead of just a caricaturized villain.
Dare we say it, it gives them heart and soul.
Good.
Oh.
Nice. I
And
dig it.
we've also got another Soi Fon stan, Nomi, don't we?
We do.
We do. So so we've got a little clip here, which is from is it B? From B.
B.
Yes, which is your sister Nomi, isn't it?
It is my sister. Yeah. Me and my
So
sister watched Bleach together, so these are her thoughts.
Hi guys, it's B. I just wanted to share my thoughts about Soi Fon and these episodes. So in 55, we're supposed to see Soi Fon in such an antagonistic role for how she treats Kione, someone who wants to save Rukia. And over the course of the episode, she's rude to Yoruichi and boasts about how much stronger she is, not that Yoruichi doesn't tease back. And we wonder over the course of their fight if Soi Fon is right to be so confident, until we see that she's not, and Yoruichi overpowers her. And then we get the flashback in 57, and how Soi Fon's life revolved around Yoruichi and how much she loves her, until Yoruichi leaves her, and without reasoning, we sympathize with Soi Fon and understand the anger and frustration. And then the final attack is so easily defeated, and Soi Fon breaks down. I swear, the why didn't you take me with you breaks me every time. I love it, and I love them, and I just think that this was such a wonderful job done building up this character.
The main thing for B's audio that I really wanted to pick up on is, number one, when the feck is she joining the server, and number two, I'm joking, the anger and the frustration that Soi Fon has, and the why didn't you take me with you, that gets her every time that she said. That for me really got me in the heart, because I can feel that, like this clip where Soi Fon effectively crumples at Yoruichi's feet and starts crying is the first real human moment we have with this character, and getting to see her. This sounds bad, but getting to see a character break down like that, like you're stripped back all the layers, is so beautiful to see. Especially from such a like, it's not just a whiny female character like you always get in anime where they're like crying over the smallest of little things. This is a proper warrior that we've just seen kick Yoruichi so hard that they just sliced a leaf in half. Like, this isn't just your average anime character. These are two really strong female characters, which another shout out I'd like to give, that don't talk about boys. But this moment was really humanizing for her, and I loved this, because then the audience is left wondering, why didn't you take her with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that's very relatable also. Like, I feel like most of us probably when we were younger, when we were like a child or something, like we've had like elder figures in our, not like elder, like mentor figures. Like, could be like an older cousin or like an older brother, or like even just an older friend, a camp counselor. You know, that kind of person in your life, and they kind of have their own things to do, and they can't be with you forever. And I mean, in this case, it's not like living so society and like, all that, but it's just something that everybody can relate to. Like, you don't really realize it when you're younger, and when you get older, you kind of oh, like, this is it. Like, that's not a it's not that they were being assholes or anything. It's just that they had things to do, and it's not something that people can control. And I think it's something that's very relatable, like Soi Fon's relationship with Yoruichi. Like, maybe not so much the being badass warriors and all that, but yeah, I think besides that, the relationship part itself is something that all of us can relate to.
And it's something that you can see as well with how Soi Fon addresses Yoruichi. Because throughout the whole flashback, you've got Soi Fon struggling with breaking formality. She's always been Your Excellency. And then she kind of compromises and resorts to Yoruichi-sama. But then when you finally got her being all angry and coming to grips with her feelings and emotions, she flat out just calls Yoruichi. There's no honorifics. There's no like politeness. It's such a sign of disrespect from Soi Fon that really just heightens how angry and how emotional she is feeling about this whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's kind of a brat. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, if somebody that I loved that much just left me without a single word, didn't take me with them, I would probably spend 100 years potentially resenting them too, because I'm very much like Soi Fon. I hold a grudge against people. So, like, I don't think that I could get round that betrayal. And I think if I saw that person again, I probably would break down. I don't think I would like to become quite as nasty as Soi Fon, like stomping on Kaone's chest or anything. I don't think I would quite go that far, but I think I would harbour a lot of hateful energy towards that person that just up and left.
Yeah.
I don't have daddy issues, I promise. So one of the things that I wanted to call out, or one of the things I wanted to ask actually was Soi Fon was going pretty hard at Yoruichi with her Shikai, right? First of all, love the Shikai. One of my favourite Shikais in all of Bleach is this.
Very fitting. Yeah.
So good. It's so good. But do we think Soi Fon was hitting Yoruichi in random places around her body because she didn't want to deliver that final blow?
The intent and the resolve wasn't there.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Like, I think, because we see Yoruichi running away, and then she ends up with like 3 or 4 on her, which means that Soi Fon is able to hit if she wants. I think if Soi Fon really wanted to kill Yoruichi, she could have easily done it with 2 hits of this the Shikai, but she didn't because she was. I think she's looking for answers, isn't she? She's venting her frustrations. She's taking it out on her. She's showing her how much better she is now. But ultimately, she wouldn't have killed her because she wants the answers. Why did you leave? And the audience wants those fucking answers too.
I think that's true, but also because Yoruichi is probably faster than her still. Yeah, I think at this point Yoruichi is probably still faster than her, although it's probably close. Yeah.
Let's come into episode 57 then. So even though it's called Zangetsu thrust through the sky, blah blah blah, we get to see very little from that fight. It is a lot more of the backstory, isn't it?
It
actually,
is.
no. Was there any anime and manga differences for episode 56?
No, not for episode 56. It was very loyal.
So episode 57 then. What did we think?
Oh yeah, like in continuing with the theme of like 56, like episode 56, us discussing that the episodes were mostly about humanizing the Shinigamis. I think Ikaku and Iba was a very good example of that. Like, they just didn't give a shit, man. They're like,
they were fighting to drink. I mean, come on.
It's like this whole thing is phrased as a war, you know. It's framed as a war. It's like, oh, Aizen was killed by the Ryoka, and oh, we need to lock down, and everybody can use their shikais, and these 2 people are just like battling out on the hill and drinking sake, and like, wow, that's the Squad 11 life, man. I love that. They have the Squad 11 smiles. I always call it the Squad 11 smiles. It's the you know that you're gonna get into a good fight, and very like I mean all the Squad 11 people have it. Like Ikaku, like all the former ones also, like Renji and Iba and all that. All the former Squad 11 people have that. Like when they have the smile when they're fighting, you know they're Squad 11 material. And honestly, Ichigo has that smile too, man.
He does actually. They're quite
does.
scrappy, Squad 11, aren't they? They're really scrappy.
If Ichigo goes into the Shinigami squad, I'm thinking it's 11.
I could see Ichigo becoming a captain in the future of a squad. I don't know
Yeah.
which one. I don't see him becoming a captain of Squad 11 by any means. But like, you know,
I mean, that's
who
what
knows? Who
fanfiction
knows?
is for. That's what fanfiction is for.
Exactly.
Make it Squad 11, man. Just invent a reason for Zaraki Kenpachi to get out of Soul Society. I mean, of all the captains in like Soul Society, Zaraki would probably have the. It wouldn't be that hard to make a reason for Zaraki to leave Soul Society because he doesn't really care about being a captain. He just cares about he's a captain because he can fight strong stuff. Like if he can fight strong stuff elsewhere, he doesn't care at all whether he's a captain or not. So I think of all the squads, I think it's probably easiest to get Zaraki out of his ass, like out of the captain's chair. Yeah.
I think that would be pretty easy to write into fanfiction. Is Kenpachi Zaraki just got bored of paperwork?
Because Yukiro's not doing that paperwork for him.
No, she's not.
Yeah, you know, like after somebody tells him about hell, and it's like there's a hell, and I'm not there fighting strong demons. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Good luck with the paperwork. Goodbye. I'm going to hell. That sounds possible.
One thing, Nomi, I did want to ask you straight up about the manga and anime differences. In the flashback, we see Yoruichi with his zanpakuto in the anime. Is that manga?
No.
Okay. Fair.
No,
That's
it
fine.
is not.
Because that was like the big note that I had was Yoruichi used to have a zanpakuto.
No,
But
that was
okay, so
extended.
that's
Yep.
okay. That's anime only. That's good to know that it's not in the canon material. At least at this point, we never know what the future will hold. We never know.
No, never know. We get like a little nugget that I think is really interesting with the fight in the drinking game between Ikaku and Tetsuzaemon. Is that Tetsuzaemon's mum was a Shinigami, and from the conversation, you can kind of make the assumption that, especially when, and I'll go into a little bit more detail with the manga differences, but Iba's mum was not just a Shinigami, but she was also a captain. Which I think is really cool because I think that's the first time we've spoken before about chosen siblings, and you've got the Kotetsu sisters, Kioni and Asane, who are either sisters or chosen sisters. They at least have the same name. You've got Ganju and Kukaku, who may or may not be blood related, depending on which way you look at it. But this is the first time we've actually had a parental figure. And whether or not this is like an actual biological parent, or again, maybe Tetsuzaemon was adopted into the Iba family, it's still fascinating to see that there was this kind of, it goes beyond just siblings. You have got the hierarchy of parents as well, which I thought was really fascinating.
I guess it could kind of be included with Yamamoto sort of calling Shunsui and Ukitake like his sons almost, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk real quick about Byakuya then and Ichigo. So Ichigo
yeah, they were
was
in this fight too.
Yeah, they were just at the tail end of it. So Ichigo was demanding that Byakuya release his Bankai, and Byakuya very pompously states that he's like 1,000 years away from dying by that, or something to that degree. What were their thoughts around this?
I feel like Ichigo's got this newfound cockiness where he's just like, come on. And like the way he describes his Getsuga Tensho and how it works, how he takes his spiritual pressure and releases it back into a concentrated like blast, and how he thinks that this just one blast is going to be able to stop 1,000 cherry blossoms from slicing him to death. He does seem very like he's gotten a little bit complacent with his training. And you saw that in the previous episodes when he's defeating all the lieutenants without his zanpakuto, and he's stopping the Sok Yoku. There we go. Finally said it. without like even blinking or without even panicking. So you can definitely see that he's got this newfound confidence, and whether or not this confidence is gonna allow him to win or not is something that we don't actually find out in this episode. So you got to keep watching.
Got that to look forward to. I love Bleach's cliffhangers, and I hate them at the same time.
I just want to mention that I think this Ichigo costume is one of the coolest looking ones that he had.
Yes.
Like the half off, like Shihakusho, and the bandages and all the things tying it up. It looks so like rough shot, but he looks, oh my god, I love him. I wish there was a costume of like there was like a toy of this costume, but it's always like the standard forms. But goddamn, this costume is so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, this costume is, oh my god, I love it so much. I love this costume.
I would buy a pop of Ichigo wearing the Shihoin like robe thing that he had on when he saved Rukia. Like, I thought that was cool as fuck as well.
Oh, the 10 token. Yeah.
But this one has more skin, and I'm a sucker for skin, man. Yeah.
What about manga and anime differences for this episode, Nomi?
Oh boy. Well, so the majority of manga anime differences comes from the flashback scene with Yoruichi and Soi Fon. The anime adds a little bit more kind of filler with like this hollow, and you see Yoruichi holding the zanpakuto. That's not in the manga. Yoruichi's zanpakuto reveal is not now, and that zanpakuto that she's holding in the anime is, for lack of a better term, not canon at the moment. However, there's a lot of things that the anime cut out. specifically with regards to Soi Fon and a little bit more about her history and her family. So Soi Fon is actually the youngest of 6. She had 5 brothers before her, and these brothers all perished in a fight with hollows. 2 on their first mission, 2 on their second, and then the last was killed on his 6th mission. So Soi Fon's got a lot of this kind of grief and purpose that she needs to not only be better than them, but prove that she's not, I don't know, in her eyes, as weak as them. Because she says that, those who don't make it into the punishment corps get disowned from the family. So she's got a lot riding on her shoulder. She's so young, and she's got this riding on her shoulder. And not only that, but her first name was Shaolin. Her name was Shaolin Fon. And she gets given the name Soi Fon because that was the name her grandmother took. So she's then got this kind of legacy that she needs to hold as well by living up to the name that she's been given, which was her grandmother's kind of like code name, as they are a family of assassins. It also kind of talks about how Omniskido, or the secret remote squad, is structured. It gives information on the fact that they were assassins. They basically they are the ones that go out and catch and report on Shinigami who broke the law and to act as scouts against the Hollows. So they're kind of like the first line of defense. And that is the Force is a division of the secret remote squad. So there's so many different like levels to this Omniskido, as is the blanket term for it. Or stealth corps, I think it is in the English.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, it rings bells.
Yeah. So there's so many different layers to that go underneath it, and the punishment force is just one of 5. It says here, and it's the highest ranking of the 5. So it's the ones that then bring the others in line. So it's just really fascinating to find this a little bit more to the backstory, a little bit more history to.
It's exposition, isn't it? That's what it is.
It is. It's exposition.
Extra exposition that we didn't get in the anime that would have been nice. I get that the anime is trying to make us feel for the characters more. I get that. But some of this exposition is good to know. And it would have been great if they had included it in a way that wasn't just us being told the exposition, but like found a way to weave it into some of these scenes that we were getting would have been great.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's just other things that we get, like a little brief about Yoruichi as well. So Yoruichi is the 22nd and first female head of the Shihoin clan. So that kind of sets that expedition as well of how much Yoruichi has on her shoulders. She was the clan head, but she was also the first female, so she's got a lot to prove with being the first female, especially when so far there's very much the ratio of males to females is very highly in the male.
We've seen that throughout the whole of the Soul Society, though. If you think back to the episodes where we were discussing that, especially a lot of the foot soldiers, like it seems like the females, if they do exist, are quite higher up in the food chain, really.
So she's got a lot to prove with that as well. And then there's lots of little extended scenes. Like there's a scene on the bridge that was filler. When you're seeing Yoruichi walking across the bridge and she's down there
giving
with
head pats.
Yeah, so that's that whole scene is filler. You've got the extended hollow fight. A lot of Soi Fon's insecurities are filler. And the whole Yoruichi calling her little sis, you're like a sister to me.
Ouch. No!
And that is anime only, so we can live in happiness that maybe Yoruichi does reciprocate some of these feelings. I don't know.
Well, that's good for the shippers, though. That's good for the shippers.
It is. There's a cute little panel though in the manga where it's kind of like an exposition of their life together. So you've got Yoruichi and Soi Fon sitting together, and Yoruichi's stealing Soi Fon's food. And then you've got Soi Fon like looking at herself in the mirror because she's just had her hair cut, and it's the shortcut that she's got now. And from the look on her face, she's like seriously just contemplating whether or not she's made the right decision. But then Yoruichi comes in and she points to her hair, and she like points to Soi Fon's hair, and she's like really liking it. And then Soi Fon gets all cute because Yoruichi loves her hair, which you don't see in the anime because when Soi Fon comes into the empty room at the end, her hair's still long, so she hasn't had that haircut. Whereas this short haircut that she's sporting now is something that was inspired by Yoruichi, who had short hair at the time.
So that's actually really a key character element, actually, if you think about that, because Soi Fon has maintained that hairstyle.
Yeah.
So that indicates that there's still a lot of feeling there, even 100 years later.
And then the last manga anime difference that is Soi Fon and Yoruichi related is the fact that we actually get kind of the reason why, not the reason why Yoruichi left, but why she is classed as a traitor. It's got like a little bit of kind of like a sentence order from a higher power here of an explanation of why she's gone. So it says, the next day I heard the charges: desertation, helping Kisuke Urahara to escape, and eluding arrest. Henceforth, Yoruichi Shihoin is no longer commander-in-chief of the secret remote squad or commander of the punishment force. So whatever happened in the past had something to do with the fact that she helped Kisuke Urahara escape and then eluded arrest for doing so, which you don't get in the anime.
Wow, that's kind of an important detail to leave out.
Just a little bit of detail, yeah. So whatever Yoruichi did, or whatever Kisuke did, Yoruichi believed in Kisuke so much that she helped him escape and then eluded arrest herself.
And we know that Kisuke and Yoruichi are best friends. That's canon. We've already been told that.
We've already been told that, yeah.
So, yeah. Man, I think everybody at this point, audience-wise, if you're not absolutely gagging for their backstory, there's something wrong with you. Like, I'm desperate for it.
I know.
Anyway, do you know what? This has been really... Sorry, I'll let you go.
Okay, no, it was just like one final thing, one final manga difference. It's really, really tiny, but it goes to what I was saying earlier about Iba's mum being a captain. So in the anime, they're having Ikkaku and Tetsuzuzaemon are having this conversation, and Ikkaku says, "You're doing this for your mum, aren't you?" And Tetsuzuzaemon goes, "Why would I be captain for that witch or for that old hag?" Whereas in the manga, he says, "Why would I be captain to that witch?" Which is what kind of gives the illusion that Iba's mum was a captain at some point. Which I will come into in spoiler episodes or when we get to it. I got so many thoughts on that.
Yeah, make sure that you take a note of that in the document so you don't forget.
Yes.
I think I've been trying to capture all of you and Dale, every moment that you've said, we should come back to that. I've tried my best to capture it when I've been editing into the document for you so you don't forget.
And then there's this funny little thing that Iba thinks Ichigo is from the 11th. And he's like, why is Bayekura fighting someone from the 11th? And Ikaku's like, no, Ichigo's the Ryoka. It's fine.
I love how calm Ikkaku is about the whole thing. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but it just goes to show how big these squads are. Like if Iba thinks that Ichigo is from the 11th squad, so therefore he doesn't know everybody in the 11th squad.
Yeah, makes sense. Was that your cat saying hello? Yeah. I thought I heard it. Hi, cat. Welcome to the podcast. What are your thoughts on Yoruichi? Is that your favourite character?
Did you see the picture I posted in spam yesterday? Where she decided to sit on she sat on my lap. I had the iPad I had Yoruichi on the screen. The TV had Yoruichi on the screen, and it was just like she was just sat down and started to watch the manga with it and the anime with us, and we were like, yes.
Oh my god, that's amazing! I've just seen it. That's so funny. That's so funny. Not that the viewers need to know that, but Cool. So the wee thing that I was going to say was I've loved analysing the different characters this watch through. So I know I've mentioned this before, but like before, as soon as I met Toshiro, I was like such a Toshiro stan. And such a Toshiro fangirl that I was only really paying attention to the scenes that had him, and a lot of the rest of it I was just I was watching on the side. That did change when we get to some of the future episodes with the turn back a pendulum arc. But anyway, I was mostly watching for Toshiro. But this watch through, I'm really watching for every single character and analysing every single character, and I'm enjoying the show so much more with this.
Yeah.
Yoruichi and Soi Fon are great.
Yeah, there's so much to it. There's so many different layers and in depth. And Kubo's done an amazing job with the characterization. That if you do just focus on the one character, you are missing so much more that's behind the scenes. The
Like
different
what a lot of
relationships that they
shonens
have.
do.
Yeah. Definitely sets them apart to the rest. Yeah.
Agreed, especially because there's full episodes where Ichigo partly isn't even really on screen. Like these 2 episodes, we don't really see him.
Yeah. And he does moan about it in the end credits, but I mean, what can you do? Let the other people get the limelight. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that about this because don't get me wrong, Ichigo's a fantastic character, but he does fall into that trope sometimes, only sometimes, of like being the good anime hero of every shonen ever. And there are elements to Ichigo that are going to come up that make him slightly different, and I get that. But up until this point, he's very much classical. I'm going to save my friends. I'm going to use the power of friendship. So so it's nice getting these other characters, and I think that's where Bleach really shines, is in its other characters other than just Ichigo. And their
Yeah.
backstories. I think that's where Bleach really shines. And can I just give shout out to Kubo for like creating 2 female characters that have like a fight scene and they don't talk about a boy. Like
Yes.
I don't think people listening will appreciate if they don't identify with the female gender how important that is for us, because we don't get that ever. That's not something that happens.
It's not,
So
no, yeah. And it's so nice to have that female representation. But
yes.
it's also nice, and correct me if I'm stepping out of line here, but it's also nice to have not only female representation, but also a person of color representation as well.
Yes, agreed. I think that I would have appreciated it more growing up. Like, I didn't really grow up with Avatar: The Last Airbender or anything, but I wish I did, because see that representation and cartoons and anime like these, that would have been so important for me growing up, because I missed a lot of that cultural representation. Like, 'cause Scotland had very little of it. I wish we could get more of that.
And it's not. This is what came out in the early noughties.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not as if it's a recent thing. This has been around for 20 odd years.
I only missed it because it was on Adult Swim at like 2 a.m. or whatever it was. You know what I mean? I don't know what time it was on it, but it wasn't on Cartoon Network, and it wasn't on the usual channels.
Yeah, I remember 2 a.m. watches, plugging headphones into the back of my TV, or recording it on Sky Plus.
Man. Oh, anyway, let's stop talking about it. Okay, so let's launch into. Have we got anything for delving into the Dangai, Nomi? I think it's been quite quiet, hasn't it?
It has.
I've not seen anything.
I was not watching anything this past couple of days because of the date as well. I didn't want to get my hopes up. Because, of course, it was April 1st, and that would have just been mean.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's true, actually. We did do a big April Fool's thing in the Discord server, which was quite funny.
It was.
We all swapped places, and hardly anybody noticed, really. We were all talking to each other.
It was great. Although reading back to the conversations now, it's hilarious because you've got like the different colours speaking about random things. Yeah.
It's so good. Cool. Okay, that's fine. So nothing really for delving into the Dangai. I reckon that section's going to become much busier once the anime news starts to drop. Let's come into our Shinigami Cup Peroxide edition then. So will we start off with our who wore it best then?
Sure. My who wore it best is Yumichika wearing Hisagi's spiritual pressure.
I love that. I mean, it does make him look shiny.
It does. Shiny.
Dex, what's yours?
I actually have two. I actually have two of these awards to give out. So the first one is to Ichigo because this half off code is like it never appears again. So better give him an award for this. And Yamamoto's hot outfit, man, of nothing, just fire, wreathed in fire, hot review, man. Oh, what a great costume! Yeah.
My who wore it best was Yoruichi wearing and suiting every single fucking hairstyle imaginable. Like from long to short, doesn't matter. She just suits all of it.
Yeah,
This is
definitely,
amazing.
definitely agreeable.
Okay, best ship then, Nomi.
My best ship is hoping someone goes for the obvious, but my best ship was the amazing explosive power of shipping Kido and Hokuto together to get Shunko.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my best ship is Ikaku and Tetsuzaimon, man. We all know that drinking sake and dueling with your swords is a great way to relieve stress.
My best ship, I was going to go for the obvious, but I decided to make it slightly less obvious by going for Soi Fon and our head pats from Yoruichi because they were constant. It was so cute.
Then we need the obligatory shout out for the Yoruichi Soi Fon fans.
We do.
Ship
we
it or
absolutely
don't. There's something there, you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great together, whether you
They
ship it
are.
or you don't. They're fantastic. Okay, then our double take moment. Then
Mine is Yoruichi's zanpakuto sadness because literally
oh.
I was like, oh my gosh, zanpakuto, zanpakuto, zanpakuto. Look down at the manga. Never mind, it's fine. So yeah.
Oh god, that's funny.
Yeah, mine was definitely the Getsuka Tensho, the name review and just the explanation of the power, man. Just doesn't just like what? His explanation of Getsuka Tensho is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. Okay? Because what he does is he concentrates his Reiatsu into a point and he releases it as a concentrated blast. But we know that Reiatsu equals to life force of Shinigami. So the fact that he has so much Reiatsu that he can afford to do this, it's just ridiculous. Like the fact that he can do this, oh my god, it's such a stupid power. Can you imagine? Oh, I stab myself, I let the blood drain out, and I throw the blood as a bomb at another person, and that's how much like blood and power this guy has, man. Oh my god, yeah. That was my double take, man. Yeah, that was my double take.
My double take had to be Koraku and Ukitake Shikai reveal because I actually did go back and rewatch that a couple of times, mostly to get the names, but also to hear what they say before it. It was yes, very cool, very cool. That brings us into our fandom shout out section. Who's going to take it away?
So my fandom shout out is a shout out to someone who had a birthday at the start of this month. Poor thing, having his birthday on the 1st of April. But it is this amazing piece of art of Hanato. We all love we all love Hanato. Because we had the Hanato appreciation episode. But this is by a bus Lunaris on Tumblr. And it's an older version of Hanato, and it's kind of like watercolored painted kind of style, and it's just really soft, and he's just so sweet, and you just want to protect him because he's just so adorable. So shout out to Hanato and everybody else who's had their birthday in the Bleach fandom for the past 4 days. It's like there's so many birthdays, it's crazy.
I love that watercolor. It's so pretty. The hair is gorgeous, and the Shihakusho is beautiful as well.
I'm gonna shout out some art as well. So to Bendetto 15, BENDETTO 15, on Reddit. Like this is one of the best. Thank you for my current phone wallpaper of Soi Fon. It's just one of the best things of Soi Fon I've ever seen in my life. And thank you for keeping it manga accurate, none of those like white binders. Although I don't bind them or anything, but it's nice. And the other one is another Soi Fon fan art by a Drimr on DeviantArt, DRIMR, no I. I went to look at his profile. He kind of stopped posting art, but he also has a lot of other Bleach stuff, and it's all very cool. And I think this Soi Fon one in particular was like, is this like rough action sketch? It's just very cool. Like it's not the typical colors that you associate with Soi Fon. Like usually it's like yellow and all that, but the green and the red, all that just blends very nicely. And it's been one of my favorite Soi Fon fan arts of all time. It was released in like 2014, I think. Yeah, but he's not been posting much, but he has a lot of Bleach fan art, so go and check him out.
I love the
I-
style of that second one.
Yeah, it's so good, right? It's such a just great action shot, and he really does have a lot of Bleach stuff. So yeah, so if you guys interested in that, go and check it out.
I love the colours in the second one, but I must admit that first one you posted, I'm a sucker for really clean digital artwork, and that suits me perfectly. I think it's really, really good. It does come up to anybody that's clicked on it. It does come up as a not safe for work, but it's not really. I don't think it is. It's just Soi Fon in her
Yeah,
uniform.
yeah.
She's posing a bit
If you've
provocatively,
seen-
but she's not. She's still
As the
covered.
comments say, it's the power of the side boob.
If
It
you
is the
find
power of the
her,
side.
if you've seen her manga outfit, this is really just a manga outfit. There's nothing extra from that, and yeah, it just makes me happy every time I see it, man. It just makes me happy.
My fandom shout out, actually, I decided to go for something themed to this episode as well. So mine is a Yoruichi and Soi Fon piece of art from um, I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm going to spell it Felitomkinson on DeviantArt. Which all the links to all this will be in the show notes down below. So make sure you go and click on it and go and give them some love. This is a piece of Yoruichi and Soi Fon fighting, which I thought went pretty well with the episode, and I love the lighting in this piece.
So nice. I just I should say the lighting, that kind of like a sunset kind of feel. And
Yes,
the way they're looking at each other is so soft.
I know, I know, I know, I know. The shine on the skin as well. Like, I got to give a shout out to that skin shine. I don't know what
Yeah.
these ladies must moisturize or something, or maybe it's just sweat. I don't know, but yeah. Big shout outs, big shout outs. They've got such great Bleach. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Bleach has some brilliant character designs, like
Oh,
really
yeah.
great character designs. So, yes,
This is some good ass art, man. Thank you for that.
it's really good, isn't it? So, yeah, massive shout out to the artist whose name I can't pronounce, but will be in the show notes down below and was spelled out. Any more, guys, before we wrap up?
No.
Oh, I'm done as well. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay then. Well, you wonderful souls, that's the end of another episode. If you like what you heard and you want to get involved, you can find us by searching for TheSeireitei on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram, and TheSeireitei on Twitter. Each of these platforms will link you to our fantastically deadly Discord family, where you can chat with us about the show, read fan fiction, take part in creative challenges, including our new challenge that just launched with picture prompts. And talk anything and everything Bleach. Now, Ichigo and Rukia might reap souls, but we're hoping to reap some 5-star reviews, and that's where you come in. Make like our favourite orange-haired protector and Ichigo to iTunes to rate us, review us, and make us feel like number one. To those of you listening on YouTube, don't forget to be like Chad to give us that good thumbs up. We really appreciate it. On the next episode of the podcast, we will be covering anime episodes 58, Unseal the Black Blade, The Miraculous Power, and 59, Conclusion of the Deathmatch, White Pride, and Black Desire. We'll see you souls then. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.